Okay, so we've worked on your little voice, yes? How's it feeling so far? If it feels good, celebrate the win. Turn to somebody, give them a high five right now. Tell them they're awesome. Tell yourself you're awesome. Go like this and say you're awesome. Awesome. Good job. Okay? So, how do you hold all this in place? How do you really discipline the little voice to keep you on track? Well, the word is very simple. The word is called accountability. What is accountability? Accountability is when your thoughts, your emotions, your words, your actions all line up. In other words, what you say is what you think is what you do. Let me ask you a question. How do you feel about people that say one thing and do something else? That doesn't work. Have you ever done that yourself? I will be there tomorrow at 6 o'clock, no problem. And it becomes about 5:45 and you go, if I'm a few minutes late, no problem. Well, maybe a few minutes late is no problem, but you know what? In somebody else's mind that was counting on you to be accountable for that moment, in their mind, you sent a message that they weren't quite that important. Is that the message you want to deliver? I don't think so. So accountability is critical. And the reason accountability is critical is because, in fact, in business, if you can't be good for your word, nobody's going to trust you. Better yet, if you can't be accountable to yourself for the things you promise yourself, why would you even trust yourself? So part of little voice mastery is critical, is to be accountable. Now, how do you become accountable? Well, first of all, you got to keep stats. You've got to know your numbers. In other words, in sales, it's pretty simple. How many calls are you going to make? First of all, how many calls are you going to make? How many contacts are you going to make? How many appointments? How many demonstrations? How many proposals? Whatever the case might be. You set your forecast and you meet your forecast and you do what you need to do to be accountable. You're going to go to the gym 5 days a week? Okay, good. What time? What time are you going to be there? How long are you going to spend? What's your routine going to be? These are all disciplines. We're going to talk about how to master that in a little bit. But for right now, in order to be accountable in business, particularly, you got to have an accountability to numbers. And again, this could be your health. What's your resting heart rate? What's your cholesterol count? All of these things. If you want to improve your life and master the little voice, then you've got to have something calibratable to look at to keep you accountable. Otherwise, you can play games with your brain. Well, I went 3 weeks ago. That's good enough. Well, my sister-in-law was in town this week. That's why I ate so much fattening food. And all the whatever the garbage is that goes on in your brain. But if you've got a journal, if you're accountable to something, to the numbers, then that won't happen. But the most important piece of all in keeping yourself accountable is something we talked about in the very beginning. It's called the Code of Honor. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you how to do this and why it is absolutely the most critical tool to use to keep yourself accountable, your family accountable, your team accountable, and to create great results for yourself.